Have you ever wondered why some people command attention the moment they speak? Why their words seem to echo in the hearts and minds of others long after they leave the room? It's not magic and it's not luck. It's powerful communication. Today we live in a world overflowing with noise, millions of voices speaking at once. But among them a few stand out. They don't just talk, they influence, they lead, they inspire. And one of the greatest thinkers to ever study this phenomenon was Napoleon Hill. He once said, "Think twice before you speak, because your words and influence will plant the seed of either success or failure in the mind of another." That's what we're here to unlock, the psychology behind those words, the inner blueprint of smart speaking. Because speaking smart is not about big vocabulary or perfect grammar, it's about intention. It's about impact. It's about understanding how the mind works, yours and your listeners, and aligning your words with purpose and clarity. In this speech, we're going to go deep into the psychology of powerful communication. You'll discover how every sentence you speak can either open doors or close them. How mastering just a few techniques can turn your conversations from average to unforgettable. Whether you're a student, a leader, or someone chasing a dream, you'll see that when your words are powerful, your life becomes unstoppable. Unlock your mind, the hidden power of self-discipline. Self-discipline is not about being perfect. It's not about being the strongest, the fastest, or the smartest. It's about being consistent, about showing up even when motivation is gone, even when you're tired, even when the odds are against you. Self-discipline is the invisible force behind every great achievement, every extraordinary comeback, and every person who turns their dreams into reality. It is the power that separates the wishers from the doers, the talkers from the achievers, and the average from the exceptional. When you understand the hidden power of self-discipline, you begin to realize that greatness is not a matter of chance. It's a matter of choice, repeated every single day. In a world obsessed with hacks, shortcuts, and instant gratification, self-discipline often feels outdated, but it is exactly what separates long-term success from short-lived excitement. Every time you resist the urge to quit, to scroll, to sleep in, you are shaping the mind into something stronger. You are training it to obey vision rather than emotion, because your emotions lie, but your discipline tells the truth. Your emotions want comfort, but your discipline wants growth, and growth never happens in the comfort zone. The truth is, you won't always feel like doing the right thing. You won't always feel like working, studying, training, or creating. But when you push through the resistance, you begin to rewire your brain. Neuroscience confirms that habits formed through discipline reprogram the mind to respond to pressure with power, to chaos with clarity, to doubt with direction. This is the psychological core of transformation, repetition with purpose. The more you train your brain to act in alignment with your goals instead of your moods, the more unstoppable you become. Napoleon Hill famously said, "Self-discipline begins with the mastery of your thoughts. If you do not control your thoughts, you cannot control your need. It starts in the mind. The thoughts you entertain, the beliefs you nurture, and the standards you hold all contribute to the strength of your discipline. Your inner conversation becomes your outer reality. If your thoughts are weak, your actions will follow. But if your thoughts are forged with focus, patience, and a refusal to settle, your actions will become unstoppable." People think discipline is restrictive, but in reality it is the ultimate freedom, because when you are disciplined, you're no longer a slave to moods, impulses, and distractions. You don't chase motivation, you create it. You don't wait for confidence, you earn it. You don't react to life, you design it. Self-discipline hands you the blueprint to your future, and every act of discipline lays one brick on the road to success. You don't build greatness in a day, you build it daily. Every choice matters, every habit counts, every moment is an opportunity to rise or fall. Success is not built on what you do occasionally, it is built on what you do consistently. Self-discipline is doing what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like doing it. It's saying yes to your future by saying no to your excuses. It's making the hard decision now so that life gets easier later. Because the price of discipline is far less than the pain of regret. From fear to focus, mastering mental toughness for success. Fear is the greatest thief of potential. It sneaks into our thoughts, disguises itself as logic, and convinces us to settle for less. It whispers that we're not ready, not good enough, not capable. But the truth is, fear is not a signal to stop, it's a signal to grow. Every person who has ever achieved greatness has walked through the fire of fear. What separates them is not the absence of fear, but the presence of focus. Mental toughness is built not by avoiding fear, but by confronting it, harnessing it, and using it as fuel to move forward. Mental toughness isn't about being emotionless. It's about being emotionally intelligent, being able to understand your feelings without becoming enslaved by them. It's about training the mind to remain calm in chaos, strong in pressure, and clear in uncertainty. The battlefield of life isn't out there, it's within. And the toughest battles you'll ever fight are against the thoughts that try to limit you. But once you learn to control your inner world, the outer world starts to follow. You begin to respond instead of react. You start to lead instead of follow. You stop shrinking and start rising. The key is focus, not just the ability to concentrate, but the ability to filter, to choose what matters and what doesn't, to reject distraction and embrace discipline. Focus is the mental muscle that turns noise into clarity, confusion into action, and fear into purpose. In a world overflowing with distraction, your ability to focus is your superpower. And like any muscle, it grows with repetition, with practice, and with pressure. The more you challenge your focus, the sharper it becomes. Mental toughness grows in the moments you want to quit but don't. It's forged in silence, when nobody is watching, when everything in you wants to take the easy path. It's about showing up when motivation is gone, trusting your vision when the results aren't there yet, and keeping your word to yourself. Every time you push through fear and choose focus, you build the muscle of resilience. You build character, you build momentum. Napoleon Hill taught that whatever the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. But belief is not passive. It must be protected, strengthened, and practiced. That's what mental toughness does. It guards your belief against the attacks of doubt. It teaches you that failure is not the opposite of success. It's part of it. That setbacks are not signs to stop, but signals to grow stronger. Every challenge is a test of your commitment. Every delay a test of your endurance. Every fear a doorway to a new version of you. You cannot wait for the perfect time, because fear will always find a reason to delay your dream. But when your mind is tough, you stop waiting for courage. You act your way into it. You stop avoiding the pressure, you embrace it. Because the diamond inside you can only be revealed by pressure. And your true power only shows up when you stop letting fear drive and start letting focus lead. Sit to lead. How great communicators influence the world. Words are not just sounds, they are tools of transformation. Every great movement, every shift in history, every revolution of thought began with a voice that dared to speak with purpose. Leadership is not simply about position, power, or title. It is about communication. Those who lead effectively understand one thing deeply: how you speak shapes how you are perceived, how you influence, and ultimately, how you lead. Great communicators don't just talk, they connect. They ignite emotions, inspire action, and build trust with every word they choose. The power of communication lies not in how much you speak, but in how deeply you are understood. A true leader crafts words with clarity, with confidence, and with intention. The psychology behind powerful communication is rooted in connection. People don't remember facts, they remember how you made them feel. And feelings are stirred by authenticity, by passion, by vision. When a speaker believes in their message, their voice carries weight. When they speak with conviction, people don't just hear them, they feel them. That is the difference between noise and influence. To speak smart, one must first listen deeply. Understanding your audience is the first rule of communication. Knowing what they care about, what they fear, and what they dream of gives your message meaning. Smart speakers don't try to impress. They aim to impact. They eliminate jargon and embrace simplicity. They don't just throw information, they deliver transformation. They speak to the heart before they appeal to the mind. Because communication is not a transfer of knowledge, it is a transfer of energy, belief, and emotion. Napoleon Hill believed that the spoken word was one of the greatest tools for success. He observed that those who rise in influence have mastered the tone, timing, and truth of what they say. They know that silence can be more powerful than sound, that a pause can emphasize a point more than shouting ever could. They understand the psychology of persuasion, how to build rapport, how to use storytelling, how to create mental images that stick. This is not manipulation, it is mastery. The most impactful communicators also understand body language, presence, and posture. Your voice is more than just what you say. It's how you carry yourself. Confidence is communicated before a single word is spoken. Eye contact, open gestures, calm breathing, all of these reflect inner certainty. When you believe in your message, your body aligns with your word. You become magnetic. You draw people in, not by force, but by the strength of your presence. Communication is a skill, and like any skill, it can be trained. It begins with self-awareness, knowing your strengths, your message, your story. It continues with practice, speaking in front of mirrors, recording your voice, refining your tone, and it is sharpened through feedback, listening to how others respond, adjusting with humility, and committing to growth. Those who master the art of speaking smart become leaders in every room they enter, because words, when used with precision and purpose, have the power to move nations, build empires, and change lives.